Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. We've been drilling down into our analytics this week, haven't we?
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. And as it turns out, 12% of our audience are actually listening in America. So before we start, we just wanted to give a special shout out to
Rob and Ryan for listening.
It's Rob and Ryan, yes, apparently. Everyone in America for listening. Thank you very much. We'd love you to get in touch. Especially if you're from Portland, Oregon, because we're absolutely flying there.
We are.
So we'd love you to get in touch. Let us know, are you expats? Are you Americans? Why are you tuning in? It'd be amazing just to give you a special shout out. It's not just America though, is it? We've had Italy, Greece, Turkey.
One in Canada.
Yeah, maybe
that's Ryan's mum.
That's Ryan's mum, okay. Yeah, if you say so. But no, thank you to everyone who's listening, but we just wanted to give a special shout out to everyone in America this week. We might as well get straight into the game, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So it's a little bit different for you especially this week, because we were listening on the radio instead of going to the game.
Yep.
How did you find that?
A bit weird, to be honest.
Crap, innit?
Yeah, it's not as good as being there.
No.
Seeing the goals for yourself, and yeah.
It's not, but we obviously a 10-hour round trip, you know, when we've got a 10-year-old who is a moaner at the best of times, to take him on that was a bit too much. As we said last week, we're going to do some away days, but this one was just a bit of a stretch when you've got small kids. It was
especially in this heat as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit much for us. So just to talk about the game. Obviously, we started in midfield. But before we get into that, there was a bit of a furore, wasn't there? Do you remember in our WhatsApp group? So Wrexham released the team, and there was no Jordan Davies. Tom O'Connor was starting. There was no Jordan Davies in the team. There was no Jordan Davies on the bench. Our WhatsApp group went mental, didn't it? Absolutely mental, going, oh my God, he's leaving. That's it. And there was about a 10-minute discussion. And then when I went back on, the team was on. I was like, oh, I'm being blind because Jordan is in the team. But as it turned out, they'd released the wrong team first. So we had, this podcast would have been about 2 hours long talking about where's Jordan Davies going. As it turned out, he played. But anyway, moving on. They started with Jordan Davies.
Yep.
And Elliot Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to work long term?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Basically, they're both attacking midfielders.
Right, okay.
Okay. So you're sort of playing, it's quite an attacking style to play. But then you're leaving sort of Luke Young behind on his own, sort of running that midfield and trying to get a thing. I personally didn't see how it was going to work playing Elliot Lee and Jordan Davies together. It may well do, but I don't really know how it's going to work. The other question is, was it a mistake to start Elliot Lee yesterday, do you think?
I mean, you know, I as you all know, I'm not like a massive genius when it comes to football, but having seen him play at Wrexham last Saturday, and him coming on in the last
half an hour, yeah,
I think that probably would have been a better call, because I know obviously we've discussed it, and you said that he's coming out of injury. He's not as fit as he should be. Yeah,
I think he joined the team a little bit later, so he's a few weeks behind everybody else. So for me, starting him was a strange call. If he could only manage 25-30 minutes last week, to throw him in at the start was a little bit strange for me. I didn't understand why they were going to do that.
But thinking about it, though, maybe he was okay, but Parky had something in his head thinking, right, okay, I'm going to let the boys play for however so long, and then when there's 30 minutes left...
Yeah, but he did only last an hour yesterday, so it was sort of like his conditioning clearly isn't there.
Yeah.
So would he have been best served
doing what he did last week.
Maybe until he's he's fully there and he's fully fit. He only managed an hour, so maybe starting him wasn't the right call. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Maybe if he had started him, maybe if he'd done what he did, Parky did what he did last week.
Yeah,
we may have come away with 3 points rather than just the 1.
We did come away with 3 points last week.
No, I meant yesterday.
I know what you meant.
Yeah,
I know what you meant.
Yesterday. I mean, sorry.
Yeah. But I think we seemed really comfortable. From what I heard on the radio, we seemed really comfortable in the first half. Obviously, Mullin got the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed nice and comfortable, and it was all ticking along. The commentary in the second half was excruciating because
I didn't rate it much in the first half.
But I just mean. It was, we just seemed completely under the cosh. If anybody was going to win that game, it felt like it was going to be Yeovil yesterday. And before the game, if you'd have asked me, was I happy with a point? No, I want to go there and win it. But after listening to the second half yesterday, I think I'm happy with a point. Away in that heat, after being under the cosh for, let's be honest, the second 45 minutes, I don't think a point's the worst thing in the world because, they seemed like they battered us in the second half.
A point is better than no points, though, isn't it? If we look at it that way.
It is, but you have to look at it in the sense of if we did win yesterday, we would have been top now. Clear top. I know we're level on points with the people at top, but we would have been clear, and it's a clear statement.
It's the second game. We've got to think of it that way. I saw, on the Facebook pages and stuff like that, people were moaning, saying, "Oh, it was a rubbish game, blah, 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 blah." But there was other people saying it is just the second game. And it's so true. It is just the second game of the season.
Yeah.
And I know we want to start off great, but
It is what it is. And at the end of the day, we have got the same points as the team that are top. I think we're currently 7th, but on the same points as the people in first. So it's not the end of the world. I think one thing a lot of people were moaning about yesterday, not moaning as such, but discussing yesterday, was the performance. So not so much, looking at the table and going, right, we've got this many points. A lot of people were moaning about the performance of the team yesterday.
But then a lot of people were saying, you try running around for 90 minutes in the heat that it was like 34, 35 degrees, something like that.
I admit.
I couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't do it, but I
can't even walk up the stairs in this heat without getting sweat on.
Equally, you've got to think in the sense of, are we a better team than Yeovil? On paper, I would say so. We're definitely a better team. We've got better quality in that squad. So if your team is depleted by 30% because of the heat, then that was the same for Yeovil, isn't it? So we should still be that step cut above. Yeah. It's the weather affects everybody in the same way. So we should still be... I did notice one comment online, and I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody said, oh, they're used to playing in the heat down there. They're not in Spain. I mean, they're just in Somerset. I mean, it's just on the, it's not like they play in that heat all the time. I mean, it was hotter here yesterday than it was there. So, I mean, I don't really think that's an argument to be making, to be perfectly honest. But I think, definitely the performance, is it a worry? Is it?
I think it's too early to start worrying.
It is too early to start worrying, but I think when, we obviously saw the game last week. For 70 minutes, we were...
mediocre.
Average. We weren't poor, we were just a bit average. And then for the second half yesterday, a bit average. So if you look at it like that, in 180 minutes of football, we've been distinctly average for about 105, 110 of it, which is quite a bit, really, for the first. It is just the first 2 games. So let's not go crazy. Let's not go mad. Let's see what the next 2 games bring, and let's sort of take it from there. But I think another sort of point to bring up, which we were discussing yesterday, is no team in the National League won both their first 2 games. So
when was the last time that somebody did?
Oh, don't throw things like that at me. I don't know. That would be
25th of September 2007.
I've no idea. I would guess this is quite unusual for nobody to win their first 2 games. I think that's unusual. I think if you probably look back last season, I reckon there was 1 or 2 teams at least that won both their first games. I would say so. I think most seasons you'll have a couple of teams that'll do it. I think it's more unusual that they haven't.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I say, we're on the same points as, you know, the other, I think the top 9 are on 4 points.
Yeah.
So is it the end of the world? No. If we go to Chesterfield on Tuesday, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then we have another game where we don't really put in a performance, maybe then we can start talking about, oh, this, you know, maybe there's something wrong here. With everything that we've read on social media, so we always talk about the players. Always, you know, you love Luke Young, you know, and you know, we talk about the players all the time, and we never really talk about the manager.
Nope.
Now, the manager online gets a lot of stick.
He does.
Now, they all go quiet when we're winning 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. Then people online do go quiet. He doesn't necessarily get a lot of praise, but they go quiet. Now, at the moment, they're rife. 2 games in, we've got 4 points, like we said, not the end of the world, but they're online, it's like, is Parky the right person for the job? As a new fan, I'm interested. What are your thoughts on the manager?
To be honest, I know I probably should, but I don't really focus too much on the manager because I don't really know. I just.
Are you getting your head around the players and how they're playing? Is that your thing at the moment? And then maybe in time it'll drill down, because we talked about tactics before, didn't we? And you said you're not really au fait with, oh, they're playing this tactic, they're pushing this person on, or noticing when they've changed tactics.
I'm assuming that's what Parky is there for.
Yeah, ultimately, he will set the team up how he wants them to play. And then they'll go out and they'll play that way. If that isn't working, he will then go, right, I am going to change this and I'm going to do it.
Does he, though?
Well, this is the point, really. That's a very good question, because not really. He will change it with personnel changes, in the sense of, okay, he's playing on the right, let's take him off and we'll put somebody else on the right. He's playing as a defensive midfielder, we'll take him off and we'll put another defensive midfielder. The tactics don't really change. I was talking to a couple of people on Thursday, and my point was, he seems quite stubborn in the way that he sets his team up, in the sense of, right, this is how we play. I'm not going to deviate from plan A because I think plan A works. Now, do you think that's quite a dangerous sort of game to be playing now? Yeah.
I think for the people, like the players are there. They're literally on the field.
Yeah.
You know, on the front line.
Yeah.
Basically. So I think if he doesn't take advice from his most experienced players, like Palmer, like Mullen, then
I think he probably does, because that's behind the scenes stuff. You're never going to know who is vocal. I think someone like Ben Tozer and Luke Young, club captain, you know, team captain, they're going to have their input in this. And I think maybe we'll find a little bit more out during the documentary who's quite vocal and what they've got to say. I'm not sure he's ever really got a plan B. So
he has to stick to plan A.
Yeah, really. And I think it is, unless our backs are really against the wall, like the Dover game last year, I think he's a bit, not scared to change it, but he's very reluctant to change things sometimes, which could be a dangerous thing. Or, like we were talking last week, look, it wasn't working for over an hour, but he stuck with his game plan. He changed people, but he didn't change the style of play. Yeah. Ultimately, it worked because he had belief in what he wanted to do. But I'm not sure that's always going to be a good thing. Or that's
I'm assuming there's like an assistant manager and stuff like that.
There is, yeah.
He obviously gives advice and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if a manager's made a decision...
Falls on Parky's shoulders. Yeah. So it's up to him. So yeah, we'll have to see. I think we look forward now. You know, 4 points from 2 games. If you'd have asked a lot of people, would they take that? Maybe. Maybe. I think, you know, before a ball's kicked, I think you know, 1 home game, 1 away game. Are you happy with 4 points? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll look ahead now. So we've got Chesterfield on Tuesday.
We do.
So all the tickets have gone for that. They released an initial 1,200, sold out. Another 580 sold out. So they've all gone. So we're gonna, we're taking a lot of people down there. So we beat them last season, didn't we?
We did. We actually drew with them when we played at home.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah.
Mullen scored.
Yeah.
And then away we won 2-0.
Yes, that was Palmer's double, wasn't it?
It was Palmer's double. 10 minutes between each goal.
Yeah, I remember this game because that was on a Tuesday night as well. So remember, it was dark. And it was the one where Palmer sort of caught the ball. Well, no, sorry. He sort of caught it. He had his hand here. The ball balanced in the air. So he either controlled it with his hip very well, but he sort of caught it, turned and scored. Look, we don't care. It wasn't given and we won the game. So I think we need something Tuesday. We need a statement victory, I think, on Tuesday, don't we?
But don't leave it so long.
Yeah, let's get a couple in the first half.
Yeah, that's what I like when we go to games and then we get first 2 goals in the first half. It's like, okay, don't rest on our laurels, but it kind of makes it that little bit easier.
It does, but have you noticed that a lot of our best play comes in the second half of games?
Yeah, because they probably get a rollicking during the half time.
Well, I don't think that's the case, you see. I think that's Parky's way. I think we've talked about how we keep the ball, pass it around, make them chase it,
get them tired,
tire them out, and then we come into the game a little bit more in the second half. Didn't work like that yesterday.
I was going to say it's not. I don't think that's a great tactic, to be fair, because you don't know whether your opposition have planned to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but we do seem to do that a lot, and I think it's let's keep the ball and let's pass it around, make them chase it, let's tire them out a bit, and then let's go for it a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure if we get a couple of goals. I think 1 goal, it's confidence, isn't it? Breeds confidence, and then all of a sudden, you're pushing for more. I think we need to. What's your prediction for Tuesday?
I'm gonna go 2-1.
2-1.
Obviously 2 to Wrexham.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-0.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about the predictions from the last game because again we were both wrong. So we're not doing too well on that. I'm 2-1. I'm 2-0. You're 2-1.
2-1.
Okay, happy. We've got that nailed in, locked in. So the biggest worries I think for Chesterfield are Shamanga. Shamanga. The best bit of this is we were talking about him, and Sian likes to make a little note when we're doing the podcast. And she goes, what, sorry? And I went, Shamanga. And she goes, oh, okay. How do you spell that? And I went, T. And she went, T? Yes, T.
Silent T.
Silent T. Now, to talk a little bit about him, because you didn't really know much about him, did you?
I do now.
You do now. But how many goals did he get last season?
I don't know that
much. He got 24 goals. So he didn't break his leg, he fractured his leg in February.
Yeah.
So he didn't play the last 3 months of the season. And he already had 24 goals by then. Mullen only got 28. So he got 4 more than him, even though he played an extra 3 months. This guy is a talent. So
is he playing on Tuesday, though? That's what we need to ask ourselves.
Well, he is coming back, obviously, from his fractured leg. He didn't play the first week. He wasn't even in the squad. On Saturday, he came on after 60 minutes. So they've been playing Quigley up front. Quigley came off, and he came on for the last half an hour. I think that's quite ominous, because he's fit enough to play that 30 minutes. We're in the whole Elliot Lee scenario again, are we? Are they going to throw him in? This guy is rapid. He is quick.
Do we have anybody similar on our team?
For pace?
For speed?
No. Not really. I wouldn't say anybody in our team has got the speed he has got. Now, the reason it worries me is our back three of sort of, let's talk about Tozer and Hayden. They're not the quickest. They're very good, love them. They're not the quickest of defenders. And I worry that they're going to have to think the ball's in behind. He's getting on them all day long. So I'm a little bit apprehensive, not worried, because he's a top quality player, he is. So we'll have to wait and see. Don't wince, it's fine. I mean,
I think Reece Hall-Johnson's quite fast, but obviously he's out at the moment.
It's not fast at the moment, is he?
No, it's not. But when we've seen him when he was playing, he is quite. I think he is.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, you're looking at your strikers going up against your defence, isn't it? Your three centre backs, and I think he's definitely quicker than the three of them. So you've got to be a little bit clever about how you play him.
So Parky takes that into consideration.
Yeah,
then.
Definitely. But I mean, it's one of them. We've just got to wait and see. So I think it's a massive game on Tuesday already. I mean, do you think there may be title contenders, Chesterfield?
I mean, if you've got players like him, maybe.
Maybe. I think there was a lot of talk of him going. There was League One and Championship clubs looking at him. I think Middlesbrough looking at him. Who obviously in the Championship, they were looking at him. He broke his leg and
no thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah.
But I think that a bid maybe have come in for him in the summer. But as it turns out, he's still in our league. Great. Looking forward to that one.
Not good for us.
No, so we'll wait and see on that one. But I think potential. They tend to fall away a little bit, Chesterfield, but I think last season, obviously, they lost Shimanga and they just sort of fell apart a little bit. He was their focal point last season, so we'll just have to wait and see. Massive game Tuesday, I think, so we're just, hopeful for 3 points there. Let's wait and see. They're another one of the teams on 4 points as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see that one. And then, looking ahead as well, 2 games this week to Maidstone. So what can you tell us about them?
Well, last season they were the champions of is it the National League South?
Yes, yeah, it was. Yeah,
yeah. So they've now come up to our league.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about them.
We'll be playing them otherwise.
No, a lot of talk about them. They looked really good last season, from what I've heard. So they could be a little bit of a danger, Maidstone, and a little bit of an unknown as well. Obviously, because we didn't play them last season. Champions, they're going to be buoyed by the Boyd, like a boy, Boyd by the sort of championship.
Do you mean the things that are in the sea?
Yeah, Boyd.
God, you come out with some bizarre things, you do.
by the championship winning season last season. I mean, that's anyone that comes up, I always think is a bit of a danger because they're unknown.
Yep.
And also they've had a season where they've got in that routine of winning.
Yeah.
So I think they lost their first game, were you saying?
No.
No? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean... Oh, sorry. We're not talking about last season. No. We're talking about this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost 3-0 to Notts County.
Notts County, okay. So another title contenders there. They lost 3-0 to them. But how did they do on the weekend?
Yesterday they played York. Yeah. And they beat them 2-1.
2-1. So that's another team who's come up as well. So they've got a victory in the bag. They've got their first win on the board. So they're not scrabbling around for their first win. So I think it'd be an interesting game, that.
Maidstone, that's down south, is it?
Yeah, if you like.
Yeah.
No. Well, they were in the National League South. So I'm going to guess it's south, yeah.
Wow.
I could edit that out. I'm not going to. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. We talked about had your expectations for the season changed? So after we've had 2 games now. Are you still there? You still we're going to win this league?
At the moment, I am.
So you ummed there. Now you didn't the first time I asked you that question. So you're umming now. So is that a genuine not so sure, or
no? I'm still open and optimistic that we will win the league.
Okay. Now I said
season.
I said we'd be 10 points clear by Christmas.
Still could happen.
Could happen. So I'm still confident of that. The last season we had quite a slow start, didn't we? And I think this season, because a lot of the players are players from last season, I expected a bit more of a fast start.
You have got new players in like Mendy and Lee and Ford, and again you've got to kind of get the team not mentality, team
embedded
fused together.
Yes, you do, and I think that's a fair point to make. So I was expecting a fast start, come out the blocks, show our intention. Look, we're favourites to win the league. Here's 2 games. That's why we're favourites.
There are a lot of people saying though that nobody's going to get even close to us this season.
Yeah.
So we have to keep thinking.
I think we're going to have to fight for it. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I think we're going to have to fight for this league.
I think the last 2 games have kind of proven that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little touch on some of the news this week, just to let everybody know what's going on within the club. Quite a quiet news week. No new signings. We're used to doing no new injuries. We've still got the same people on the injury list. So we got Lainton, Dibble, long term. Tom O'Connor. I heard it was just a little bit of a groin, he's felt his groin go a little bit tight, so they've rested him, and that's why he's out. So fingers crossed he's okay and he comes back soon. So we don't need to do injury watch this week. So one thing is Power Chair football is back. Obviously, when Rob and Ryan came over, they went to visit the Power Chair football, and they loved it and they thought it was amazing. It's back again. For this season. That's every Friday. So anybody who listens or is watching who wants to think that would be something that they would like to do, obviously it's a disability sport that the Wrexham Football Club run. It's amazing. If you want to get involved in that, as I say, it's every Friday. What you need to do is email Kerry Evans, and that's Kerry with a K, Kerry.Evans@WrexhamAFC.co.uk, and she can give you all the information that you need from that. That's great, by the way. So if you want to get involved, there's already a lot of people involved in that. Quick one about the bucket collection. So the bucket collection from the last home game was for the Wales Air Ambulance, and that raised £486.16.
To be fair, as Wrexhamites, we are, if anything, we're generous. And, we're going through a cost of living crisis at the moment. And the fact that we've raised £486, I think that's quite
It's decent. It's decent. And I think, when you see the people with the bucket collections, you always see people throwing money in. You're always going to get people who walk past or, people don't have cash and things like that. But I think £500 is a decent amount. Fair play for that one. I want to move on to talk about Dragon Chat. So we mentioned it last week, didn't we? So it's a men's mental health Zoom call. So it's like a safe space for men. Go on and you chat about mental health. As I said last week, it's set up in sort of 2 halves. So it's like 45 minutes where you're talking about mental health. How have you done this week? Anything that's been difficult for you this week? What's gone well for you this week? All that sort of stuff. That's the first 45 minutes. The second 45 minutes is talking about the game. Talking about football. I sort of promoted it a little bit last week and said it's a great thing, but I hadn't actually been on it. So I felt a bit, not hypocritical, but I thought, if I'm going to promote it, I should go on it. So on Thursday, 7 o'clock, I went on. I spoke about Steve. I'd been in touch with Steve before, who runs it. I went on, and you know what? It's great. It's really good. And you can't hope to wish a nicer bunch of lads that are on it. And I really enjoyed it. Did you say
there was somebody even from America on there?
There was somebody from America on there as well. And it was just it was really nice to have a chat to people and to get on something, meet some new people and talk about Wrexham, with people that you'd never spoke to before. There wasn't as many as they would normally be on there. They said this week, but that was probably because of the hot weather. Because let's be honest, it's baking at the moment, and some people don't want to sit in front of a webcam for maybe an hour and a half and have a chat. But I would recommend it. Anybody who's struggling, I would highly recommend it. I work shifts, so I'm not going to be on it this week, but I'm going to go on again next week. I'm not going to sort of tell any stories or what was discussed or anything like that. It's obviously a safe space for men to talk and talk about how they feel.
I just think it's really good because, men's mental health is just not talked about enough.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I think more men go through, depression, anxiety, whatever it is, a lot. And I just think this dragging chat, that hour and a half every Thursday could change somebody's life, could help them. And I just think it's such a good cause. And like mental health issues and stuff like that are quite close to our heart, aren't they? So
yeah,
I think it's a brilliant thing.
It is. And do you know what? I think there's a lot of stigma involved where people are going, oh, I don't want to go on and talk about my feelings or stuff like that. Well, firstly, you don't have to share anything. You can just be there and you can just talk about the football if you want. And that helps in itself because you're just talking to other people, which is really nice. But it's not done in a way where you're sort of singled out and you're going, right, you tell me what your problems are. It's not like that at all. It's like you just sat around in a pub, just having a chat, and it's done in such a brilliant way. And I would recommend anybody goes on it.
Kudos to them.
Yes, definitely. So that's every Thursday, and it's at 7 p.m. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put all the links and stuff to how to get onto Dragon Chat in the description below. But as I say, keep an eye on the Facebook page, the Wrexham AFC official Facebook page. On a Thursday, an hour or two before it's due to start at 7 o'clock, they put all the details on there of how to dial in on Zoom and all that sort of stuff. Highly recommend it. I'm definitely going to go on it again next week. It's good fun, to be honest. It is, to sort of have a chat with everyone. People who got in touch this week. Got a couple more, didn't we?
Got a couple more, yeah.
So Shay got in touch. Very nice guy. He got in touch this week to say that he absolutely loved the show. Obviously, yeah. And he said he was going to promote it on his TikTok. Now, his TikTok's at Wrexham FC 2021. So check that out. Give him a like, give him a follow. But he's just a really nice guy, isn't he? He sort of sent us this message saying that he loves it. He finds it different to the other sort of podcasts that are out there. It's really nice to hear positive comments from people.
I don't think we've had any negative comments, to be honest. Really.
No, not really. There's a few people with some constructive criticism, maybe, but I don't think even that wasn't negative, was it? It was like, oh, why don't you do this a little bit different?
There was somebody who thought that you were talking down to me, but
yeah, there was someone, just to address that, somebody after the first episode thought I was a little bit patronising because we were talking about the offside rule, and he said, I know lots of women that know the offside rule, and I wasn't too taken aback with that, but the point is, I wasn't asking you as a woman,
no,
even though you are a woman.
Thank you for noticing.
I was asking you as a new fan of football.
Which, that's how I took it.
Yes. So, if anybody did take it the other way, that's not how it was meant. I wasn't asking Sian as a woman,
Because there are a lot of men who don't know the offside rule.
I wasn't.
So it's not just women.
Yeah, it wasn't asking as a woman whether you understood the offside rule. It was as a new fan to football.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only real one. But, Shay got in touch, as I say, at Wrexham FC 2021. Check him out on TikTok. He does lots of little Wrexham FC bits on there, so check him out and give him a follow. The other guy was Nigel. So he got in touch and you replied to Nigel.
I did reply, yeah. It was really, he basically said, again, great content, keep up the good work. He said that he's really looking forward to the next episode, so that's brilliant to hear.
And that's nice. It's really nice for us to hear things like that because it just makes us want to do more episodes, which we want to do. Yeah. We're always going to do that, but it just makes you go, can't wait to do the next one now. So, as I say, we've said before, if you want to get in touch via our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. We're on TikTok as well, or you can email us, which is me, the wife, and WrexhamAFC@gmail.com. Get in touch. Whatever you want to say, just get in touch. So we're going to do another quiz.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean,
are you ready for this?
Not really, because I've done terrible the past two quizzes. Okay. So.
This week is squad numbers.
Great.
Come on, you see them all the time. You see their numbers.
I'm looking at their feet, not their backs.
Right, okay. Are you ready? So
yes.
there's 5 to get here. You need 2 to draw level with your best score of 2.
Yep.
3 is the next step.
Yeah. Okay.
We're looking for a minimum of 3 this week. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Number 13.
Number 13, I'm gonna go for Tom O'Connor.
No, it's not. And do you know what? I thought you'd definitely get that one because you've referred to number 13 before when we were talking about Dibble. And you said, oh, he is number 13. When we were having a WhatsApp chat. Yeah, I thought you'd get that one. No, Tom O'Connor is 22.
See, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Like... Okay, the next one. 32.
Callum McFadzean.
No, that is Max Clearworth.
Oh, little Max.
Okay, so you're struggling, I'm going to be honest with you.
Really?
Yes. Okay, number 5.
Number 5 is, I think, Anthony Ford?
No, it's not Anthony Ford, it's Aaron Hayden.
Oh, shiny legs.
Okay, right, so that's 3 down. Is that 3 down?
No, we've only done 1. What are you on about?
Okay. Next one.
Yeah.
Number 17. You keep looking at me as if I'm going to say number 9 or number 10. They're not coming in this quiz, 9 and 10.
Oh, what did you say, 17?
I did say 17,
Number 17, Reesol Johnson.
No, that is not Reesol Johnson, that is Bryce Hosanna.
Oh, he was the other one I was going to say.
Was it? Oh, you didn't know, did you?
No.
No. Okay, last one, just to rescue a little bit of dignity. Number 3.
Number 3, Elliot Lee.
No.
It rhymes though.
Number 3, Elliot Lee. It does. It does rhyme. Maybe he should change his number. He's currently 38.
Not far then.
No,
not far off.
It's Callum McFadzean.
Oh!
So, we've regressed. Oh, sorry. It's okay. I mean,
it would be nice if I got a heads up what the quiz is going to be about, because then I could learn.
No, because that's the idea of a quiz, isn't it? That you don't know what's coming.
That's very true. Yes.
So, thank you very much for tuning in again this week. Maybe you will see this one get better at the quiz next week.
I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt it. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in again this week, though. And we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.